Hello and happy Sunday to you. Welcome to Sunday's Best. And this is Nancy Johnson. In case you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. Our series for the month of June is Prepare and Position Yourself for a Recession, a downtown turn in the economy. So what we do here is we share information, and because I'm sharing financial information, market update on real estate and the economy, I am not the expert on that. I am not a financial advisor, so nothing that I say should you take and substitute it saying I got this advice as financial advice from Nancy Johnson. So that's my disclaimer up front. I'm here to shed light on the situation and to help with some solutions. So when you come to the table with a problem, or when you have to deliver doom and gloom, you wanna leave people with some hope. Leave them with a plan, and whether they follow it will determine how well or how bad the situation can actually be. Last week we said that prepare means leading up to an event. You want to prepare so that you can be at your best, whether it's your performance or whether it is the economy, and you don't want to have to live paycheck to paycheck. That's what prepare means, and that's how we'll be using it all month long. Position. Take your position. Arrange. Set things in order. That is positioning. And so CNN documentary said a hurricane is coming. We just don't know if it's going to be a Category 4 or a Category 5. And you know how we prepare for hurricanes. And so hurricanes usually come in a season, maybe September through October, November, possibly just those 2 months. But this recession can come at any time. And what we said as far as definition and particulars, a recession shows a negative turn on the economy, and it can last from 3 to 5 years. A depression is more global, and we're seeing that with the price of gas being kind of filtered in already. And a depression can actually go on for years and years and years. So whatever is to come, or whatever is to be, but where you are is up to you. We also shared some ways that you could recession-proof yourself, because hearing the word creates a feeling of financial discomfort, and everybody wants to be comfortable. Nobody wants to live on the edge all the time. But if you know something is coming, you have to prepare. And so that's why we're talking about preparing, because preparing for a recession is essential to your financial well-being. We said that there are several things that you can do. The first thing you need to do is have a plan. Have a plan of action. Know where to go in the time of a storm. Know how to survive in the time of a storm. A hurricane is coming, is the prediction. But you know what? Even if we're blessed and it does not come, we'll still be on higher ground. We'll still find ourselves better in the end. So I'm just going to go back over the list. It said, number 1, have an emergency fund. If you don't, everything becomes an emergency, and everything becomes even more stressful in a recession. Number 2, we said diversify your investments. And that's where I put the disclaimer out there. I don't know a thing about stocks and bonds, so I'm not the person to ask. But seek out someone, number 1, you trust, someone that has your interests at heart, and someone that has experience. Number 3, consider your age before dumping all your eggs into a basket that can be volatile, that can go up and down and up and down. Pay off debt. We're going to beat this dead horse until we all are able to get on it and ride our way out of this mess. Look at your situation right now and decide, what can you get rid of? What can you give up? What can you do that others won't do so that you can have what others don't have? Stop getting deeper in debt when you hear a hurricane is coming. Number 4, learn how to budget. Budget just means the opposite of trying to keep up with the Joneses. Budget means you draw the line, you try to stay within the line as much as possible. Budget doesn't mean that you can't have a good life. It doesn't mean that you can't have some of the things you want, but you need to have a budget. So if you don't have one, now would be the perfect time to get one. Number 5, create multiple streams of income. I know for a fact there are a lot of talented people on this call or on this video. Some of you are great at alterations and designing. Some of you are great at cooking. Some of you are awesome at baking. Some of you can clean. And now might be a great time to look at some of these skills that you have, because they will open doors for you. They will create a stream of income for you. So why not use what you got to get what you want? Number 6, live on one income and save the other. I know you think that's hard. I know you think it's impossible. But what if only one person in the house was working? If you operated like that was the situation, then you could help yourself now and in the future. So the goal is to reduce the cost of living. And if you can live off less, that means you can save and invest more. Number 7, consider a recession-proof job. Now, I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to give my 2 cents. It's not much that my son-in-law and I, Anton, disagree on, but this is one point that we can't seem to get on the same page with. I don't understand. Maybe it's me, and maybe it's the way I grew up. I don't understand how a person can quit, not show up for a $15, $16, $18 an hour job and not have an emergency fund. I don't understand how teenagers and a parent can opt out of working because they want another $5 or another $7 or another $10. So my question is, when you leave that job and when you are not prepared, and when the recession hit, And when reality sets in, that what are you teaching your children? That it's okay not to work unless it comes on your terms? How are you preparing them for the future? And then secondly, if you are 30 or 40 years old and you quit a job because they're not paying you enough, when you go to look for another job, because sooner or later you'll crawl out of that cave, you'll come to your senses, you're going to need a reference. How will it look on your reference to say, I'm looking for a job now, but I left my last job, I just quit it because it wasn't paying enough? How are you going to be perceived? I'm just asking the question. Maybe it's a point I'm missing. But the last of the 3 points is, if you are making $15, $20 an hour, say $20 an hour, and you quit for 3 years, when you start making $25 or $30 an hour, you're playing catch up. You're not any further ahead. That's my thought. Not everybody may agree with it, but I'm telling you, prepare yourself. And it said, prepare for a recession-proof job. Is there such a thing? They call it essential workers. But that's what we talked about last week. And I ended that part with saying, prepare for a recession before it happens. And it said, while you can't predict when the recession will happen, it makes sense to always be prepared. So if I said to you, there's a train on the track, and your car is there or you're standing on the track, you're not going to ask the person with wisdom is not going to say how fast is it coming or which direction is it. Is it north or south? Is it east or west? You're going to be trying to get out of the way. So there's a train on the track, and it's headed your way. We don't know when it's going to hit, but we know what it will hit if you don't get off the track. So that's my ism on that. And there, if you, and I'm not talking to you if this doesn't apply to you, and don't stop listening because you don't, agree with what I said. If you're one of the persons, maybe you got a plan. There are people with money who have been doing just what I said all of their lives, and they're ready. They might want to be more prepared, but they're ready. They're not going to starve. They're not going to miss a beat because they heeded the wisdom of the tiny ant. Prepare in the summer for the winter seasons of your life. Okay, so one of the reasons, I'm going to tell you a few reasons why we're going to continue talking tonight about some tips for recession-proof in your life. CNN reported there's a housing crisis. And I added, where's the top? How high can things go? And how long can the average person be okay? Depending on where you're listening from, I know we have people in Maryland, people in different cities, Florence, Kingstree, Atlanta, Florida, Charlotte, just several places in many different states. And so the market update, especially on housing, says rents are rising. Some rents are going up as much as 30 and 40%. Let me break it down for you. A couple in Jacksonville, Florida, was paying $1,000 a month to rent a 2-bedroom. Their landlord informed them that he was going up 40%. So their rent was going up another $400. And so they fought it, but they went out and started comparing. And he said, yeah, that's what other people are paying. If we move from here, that's still what we're going to have to pay. 30 and 40% increase. Groceries are going up all over the U.S. Gas prices are going up. We're in South Carolina. Prices are just a tad under $5. I saw someone that was vacationing, and they said gas prices in California was $9 a gallon. So I know a lot of my listeners or my audience are retired. But when you looked at your finances and what your monthly stable expenses were going to be, did you count on $400 a month for gas? Well, if you pull up at the pump and you fill up the average vehicle, it's $80 to $90. For some people, it's $100. And because you don't know how deep or how long or when this recession is going to start or be over, we could be $6 or $7 a gallon for gas. And that would be really, really, really bad for all of us. And they said that there are investors out there now, and I know it for a fact, that are buying. They're trying to buy up a whole city and create just rental income, just rental houses. And these are, one of the big players is called Tricon. And here's some statistics that he said. He said because the last recession, the housing market suffered, builders, we didn't build enough homes. They said, and I didn't get this wrong, there is a rental demand right now. We are behind by 4 million homes. That's a lot of homes. That's a lot of people that are going to need a place to live. And so if you have rental property right now, and you've had it for a very long time, your cash flow, your passive is about to explode. Because people, according to this article, people are going to pay almost anything you say. And this particular company said that they're trying to buy across the U.S. 800 homes a month. 800 homes a month. And they can't keep up with the demand. And you know what? The hot spots is the Sun Belt. Your Atlanta, your Tampa, Texas, Jacksonville, that's the hot spot. And so he's saying that you can almost abandon living the American dream. By their motto is, we can rent you the American dream. But I want those of you who are listening to know that you got to have a plan. You got to prepare. And the devil is a liar. You can prepare yourself to own a home, because the government, real estate is never going out of style. It's going to always be a demand for real estate. And sooner or later, it may be tougher, Just like I remember interest rates being at 18%. Then last year, they were down under 3%. Right now, they're almost 6%. But there's a big difference between 3 and 6, but a much larger difference between 6% and 18%. Can you imagine what your mortgage would be right now if it was 18%? I don't think there's many people in the world, well, I'll say in the U.S., that's still sitting on an 18%. They have to wise up and figure out how to get out of that. So position yourself for opportunities. Position yourself for the storm so that you can go through it. But the way you prepare for it and the way you position yourself for it will determine how you come through it. All right? So we got about 10 more minutes. And how many people are feeling the pressure right now? How many people are feeling the pinch at the at the grocery store, at the gas stations, at the restaurants, at the nail shop? So we got to figure out, is it $100 in my tank and nothing in my savings? What can I give up to get what I want? What will I have to do different than what someone else does in order to be able to sustain myself, my family, during a recession? So the number one thing, it says reassess your budget monthly. And here's a few things that I learned from a millionaire friend of mine. Know what's coming into your house. Know what's going out. Know what you're spending it on. And is what you're spending it on bringing a return to you? Know. And the only way to know is you have to keep your eyes on your finance. And so, what am I doing with my money? And what is my money doing for me? When I get my paycheck, do I give my money directions? Money has energy, you know. If you don't tell it where to go, it'll go just anywhere. And it'll go fast. It has fast energy. You have to be energetic. You have to be in the know to keep up with your money. Number 2, contribute more toward your emergency fund. After cutting out unnecessary expenses, I know everybody on here can think of one expense that they can cut out because it's not necessary. For some, it could be that cup of Starbucks coffee. It could be that shopping trip that you take monthly. You go shopping. You go on a shopping spree. Mix and match. Coordinate some of the stuff you already have. Go back to the basics. I remember when I first started working in the insurance industry, I think the store was Learners or something like that. And they had this 7-piece coordination where a pants and a top, a skirt and a top, another jacket that matched, and you had a different coordinating blouse. It was a lifesaver. And so when you're looking for ways to save, the first thing is, if you're in a hole, stop digging. You're going to be deeper in the hole. So just stop adding the expenses. Number 3, focus on paying off high interest rate debt first. But how you do that? You got to track it. Number 4, keep up with your usual contributions if you can. And the contributions that I'm talking about, if you're blessed enough to have a 401k and you have matching funds, try to continue doing that if you can. Number 5, evaluate your investment choices. Again, I can't help you with that. Whether your investments are doing well or not, avoid making emotional money decisions. Number 6, build up skills for your resume. Remember, when you do decide, if you quit your job and you do decide to go look for another job, it's going to be telltale signs of whether they want you on their team. Because they don't want to hear you come to them and they're paying $20 an hour and you quit an $18 per hour job. They're going to say, how dependable, how long can I depend on this person? Is this person going to be come, leave, or are they going to stay? So, number 7, brainstorm on innovative ways to make extra income. What have you thought about lately that can bring you in some good income? And another thing I observed, gas is high, cars are expensive, but I looked and I needed to go there myself to get my car washed, but the lines were wrapped around. And so I guess a good car wash could cost you $15 to $20. That's a couple of tanks of gas. You're paying a water bill at home. Maybe if you just opted not to have your car cleaned every week at the car wash and did it at home every other week, you might save a little money. That's just a suggestion. So lastly, we're going to talk about the fact that some mistakes to avoid in a recession. Number 1, and it's kind of a recap, avoid making financial decisions out of fear. What you should do is stay calm until you assess your financial situation before you make an emotional decision. Number 2, avoid taking on more debt. So what should you do? Pay off debt and start with the highest one first. Number 3, avoid taking on responsibilities as a co-signer. What you should do is focus on your own debt, saving and budgeting in your house, and cover your 4 walls before you try to cover someone else. Number 4, avoid neglecting your emergency funds. Stay on track, even if you can't save as much. But I'll bet you there's something that you can cut out on the list so that you can still save that $50, that $90, that $80, that $100 every pay period. You've got to look out for number 1. If you don't count yourself in, you're going to be left out. So instead of avoiding or neglecting to do your emergency fund, adjust your budget to save 50% of what you were saving. Just stay on track. Don't get off track. Stay focused. Number 5, avoid increasing your fixed expenses. The fixed expenses would be like car, or if you can avoid moving, to a more expensive place, you need to look at your budget and see what expenses you can cut so that you can do some of the things you want to do, such as save more and be prepared and position yourself. Number 6, avoid not having a backup plan. Everybody needs a backup plan. That backup plan for the recession should be figure out how you can have 3 to 6 months reserved in your account. Prepare. Don't die in the fire called recession, because it is coming, folks. The handwriting is on the wall. I'm not painting doom and gloom, and it's not coming for me and not for you. It's coming for all of us. And so each of us should be better at preparing. And lastly, they say, again, and don't increase your debt. Don't become a co-signer. Taking your job for granted can be a mistake in the future. Whether you want to stay on that job or not is not always want to. Can you afford not to in the long run? So, some of you may have said, watch me walk away. I'm leaving. Watch me walk away. Well, not having a backup plan, that may give you temporary a feeling that you took matters into your own hand. But if you're not prepared for a recession, it can knock you flat on your back. So no matter what the state of the economy, always practice healthy financial strategies that can help you and your family keep your 4 walls intact. So that's what I had for tonight. And I hope nobody got upset with me, because the message isn't always for everybody. There are a lot of prepared people, but there are more people that are unprepared. And that's why the month of June is going to be dedicated to preparing yourself. If you do nothing else right now, and even if you already quit your job, the best thing you can do is read, study, volunteer at an occupation that you want to do in the future, and get some free apprenticeship, and folks, we got to face it. If it's coming and we're being told the train is coming, get off the track where the train can injure you and get on a track where you can help yourself. All right? So let's see who we have on tonight. Okay, it looks like, I know I saw Genevieve Burgess, Marva, Sandra will get gas app card. Thanks. Let's see. Pearlie Pendergrass, thank you for getting on, Pearlie. She said, oh yes. Gwen, thank you, Gwen. I really used what you posted last week, Gwen. The week before I used it. About being still, I think it was, no, it was something else, but I really used it. Gloria Moore said, you feel it everywhere. You make the necessary adjustments and continue to press on. Amen. My friend Martha Eubanks is on. Thank God for wisdom and blessings. Let's see who else we have here. Sandra Belton and Rima. are on. And let's see. Oh, someone said they canceled. Sandra Bolton said she canceled Amazon Prime. Great, great. Let's see. Vivian says 401k. Be careful how you invest your funds. You're hearing it from a banker, somebody that's been on the banking side and now on the mortgage side for about 50 years, I think. So be careful. Like she said, neither of us are a financial advisor, but we know enough about it, just enough to tell you that you should be careful. Let's see. So Marva said, we'll try right after this. Is the Play Store the same as App Store? I don't know. My shortcoming is technology. Somebody else will have to answer that. Genevieve Burgess said less television services. Lily James says plan menus and have a shopping list for everything. I totally agree. I was talking to my son today and I said, remember when back in the day, all the kids played sports. I worked full time. Their dad worked full time. He played on about 3 teams. So on Saturday, I would begin cooking. And it would be usually fried chicken on Sunday. But on Saturday, I would either make a meatloaf, a pot of stew beef, or a pot of neck bones. And I would make enough. The meatloaf would last 2 days. The stew beef would be 2 days. And we would have Sunday dinner. And he said, and then we ate fish sticks or corn dogs or franken beans on Thursday. And then we went out on Friday and Saturday. So, we got to get back to some of the basics, y'all. Diane Johnson is in, I believe, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. So Diane says, I can't read it all, Diane. But okay. Oh, I got it now. She said she loves catfish, so fishing is my hobby. I clean and fillet them also, so I make a few dollars on the side. That's great. Use your gifts. The Johnson family have some awesome fishermen in the family and some great cooks. So I'm sure that catfish stew or that fried catfish is delicious. Sandra Bolton said, I wanted to go to a jazz brunch today. Instead, I turned on the jazz and we had Sunday jazz in Uber today. Everyone enjoyed it, especially me. You got to take what you got and use it. You got to use what you got. And Vivian says, good information, Nancy. We must be wise with our funds. Amen. And see, nobody got mad with me. At least you didn't tell me that yet. But I know some of you have been thinking the same thing. When are people going to realize that you can't live, I don't think, off the lay of the land for the rest of your life? If you got 30, 40, 50 years ahead of you, you're going to either have to sharpen your skills, have a business, or find somebody's job. And you can't tell a person what to pay you. You cannot accept the job, but I hope you have everything else in order. And Lavinia says, very good information. So I thank each and every one of you for being on. And we're about 10 minutes over, but I did stop my information around 33 minutes, but I always want to share a viewpoint of others because I need to know if I'm getting through to you, because my prime objective is to always give you something of value. Now, we had a fantastic month so far in real estate, and I'm sharing this with you. We're talking about a recession, but let me tell you, there are some people who are already positioned. I listed 7 properties last week. One of them was well over 200,000, but the others were investment properties. And I want you to know, out of those 6 properties, we got multiple cash offers on all but one of the properties. Well, let me say that. We got multiple cash offers on all of them. Of the 6 properties, we probably had well in excess of 15 offers before we stopped receiving them. But all 6 of the properties, one of them or one or two of them had where the party needed to get financing, but the others were cash, y'all. Nothing. I mean, 100, 110,000, 95,000, 85,000, 80,000 cash. And the properties went in less than 48 hours. You know, we're tying up a few loose ends, but to sell 6 or 7 properties in 2 days, that's because the prices in Columbia, in your city, it's relative to where you live. A person, there's some housing that that are being bought up now. They're going to rent for $2,500 a month, and they're going to be full. They're going to be full. A lot of people are going to buy into the fact, well, since I can't buy, I'll rent for $2,500. But don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Try to listen and hear and be prepared. Opportunity knocks, but the people that hear the knock are the ones that are prepared. Opportunity is not looking for unprepared people. Unprepared people don't take full advantage of opportunities because they're not prepared. So I want you guys to have a great week, have a great life. In fact, have a $1 million life, and share this message tonight. If no other month, I want you to share this, because whether the person is 20, whether they're 30, whether they're 55, whether they're 70 or 75, they're going to feel the impact. Multiple streams of income is necessary, and it's harder to get it if you don't use your skills and your gifts. It's harder to get it when you're over 65. You're too old. You're old enough to retire, but too old to rehire. You don't get the best jobs when you're 70 or 75. I mean, a few people may, but just take this message to heart. And like I said, it's not for everybody, because some of you are doing extremely well, but I bet you know somebody that's not doing as well as you are. So share it. Each of us knows 200 people that the other person doesn't know. So share. It doesn't cost you anything to share. Have a $1 million life.